I'm not going to waste your time. You've seen the title, so let's just get straight into it. So I've got the Xiaomi 15, which is running HyperOS 3, and I've got the Vivo X300 Ultra, which is running on OriginOS 6. So first of all, let's just go over the general UI design and animations and that sort of thing. So if we just open apps and you look at this animation, I'm going to say that the Vivo is honestly smoother. So to me, it seems like there's sort of like a delay on the Xiaomi. Like it sort of opens after you click it, I guess. But yeah, on the Vivo, it's like the animation just starts instantaneous. There's zero delay. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but yeah, I do much prefer the animation on the Vivo. And as for design, they go for different approaches. So you've got a more flat iOS 18 kind of inspired design, is what I would say, on the Xiaomi, and I really like it. It uses blur effects, looks very minimal, and then on OriginOS, they have took more inspiration from iOS 26 and gone with, you know, all of this transparency, but they've made it frosted, not like liquidy like iOS. So I think both designs do look good. I don't mind either of them. I think both of them are very good in their own right. But I think I do prefer the Xiaomi a little bit more, just a bit more to my taste, that's all. But I think both are perfectly fine. So let's just go back into the settings app. As you can see here, they are pretty similar, although again, I just prefer the Xiaomi 15. Just looks a bit more polished and refined. The Vivo, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of it. I can't place my finger on why, but let me know what you think. And then if we take a look at the app drawers, goes for a blur effect on the Vivo, and it's just regular transparency on the Xiaomi. However, you can change this. You can go to backgrounds, do light or dark, and you can change whether you want it completely transparent or fully opaque, or in between. I'm actually going to set this to white like this. I think that looks nice. So yeah, you know, it's more of the blur and glass effect on the Vivo. There's a lot more of that flat design on the Xiaomi. Although I've seen what HyperOS 4 is going to look like, and it's not looking good. It's going to be basically iOS 26. But yeah, as for right now on HyperOS 3, it's, you know, going with that minimal flat kind of design. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is what the volume control looks like. Again, I do prefer the Xiaomi a lot more. I don't know why it's yellow on the Vivo. Again, it just seems to be a lot more polished and consistent on the Xiaomi. And here is the notification shade animations, pretty much the same on both. But again, it has a sort of like pop to it on the Xiaomi, which I guess looks nice. But on the Vivo, it's just like instant. It just instantly goes into the animation. And that goes for opening apps and all of it. It's just instantaneous on the Vivo. It has more of like a sort of pop effect on the Xiaomi, which, you know, gives it a sort of delay. You won't mind it whilst using it, but, you know, when comparing it, you can notice that the Vivo just feels a lot quicker. Okay, let's take a look at some features. So if we go into the display settings, you do get sunlight mode on the Xiaomi. So if it's very bright outside, and automatic brightness still isn't bright enough for you, then you can put it on sunlight mode and just put it up to the max and it will go super bright. So you got that, which is cool. You don't have that on the Vivo, but it's plenty bright enough anyway. You can change the color scheme on both. Now, I've always really liked Original Color Pro on Xiaomi phones. It's just so accurate and natural looking. On the Vivo, it's just called Natural Default, but it seems to be perfectly fine. They look the same to me, really. It's really rare that you'll find an OLED panel that doesn't look correct, but yeah, you do have a color wheel on both as well, so you can make it more cool, more warm, however you like. Then you've got refresh rate. You can set high on both, like you can set the maximum on both, and then you can select which individual apps that you want to run at the high refresh rate. I use smart adaptation on the Vivo because it just makes all apps run at like 120 Hz anyway, like that. But on the Xiaomi, on the standard variable refresh rate setting, YouTube still runs at 60 FPS, which is really annoying. So I use custom so that I can set YouTube to 120 Hz. Now, looking in the eye comfort section, you've got reading mode on the Xiaomi. So what I like about the Xiaomi, if it lets me go in, so you've got your color temperature, right? So you can set it to be as warm as you like. And then you have texture, which adds this grainy paper effect to the display, which I really like. I mean, it obviously isn't going to make it actually matte like a piece of paper or like a matte screen protector. But I like the way it looks. You know, it's good for reading, good for scrolling at night and that kind of thing. And you also can do light colors. So instead of doing full bright colors, you can make them lighter, which I really like. Or you can just go black and white if you want to. So yeah, really nice and customizable on the Xiaomi, which is cool. Then on the Vivo, you've got eye protection. You can of course schedule it. You can do that on both. Go to adjustment. You can make it, yeah, strong or weak. Same as the Xiaomi. So you can make it stronger or weaker, just like you can on the Xiaomi. And you can do the paper texture as well, just like the Xiaomi. Although the one on the Xiaomi is a little bit more grainier, more gritty looking, which I prefer. This one isn't quite as like dramatic, I guess, when put at the strongest setting, but you know, it's there nonetheless. And then instead of getting different options, you've got full color, soft color, light color, and then black and white. So you get like 2 stages of the soft colors. Now the Vivo is giving you way more options in this eye comfort section. So you've got AI sleep comfort mode. Smart identifies sleep time and adjust screen mode before bedtime. And you've got that. It's like sort of like the circadian rhythm feature on a phone. So there's that if you like that. Sleep screen. During sleep, the screen will dim brightness and be reduced. Yeah, I don't really get what this does, but it's there if you want it. I don't really use this kind of stuff. Anti-fatigue brightness just seems like auto brightness to me. I don't really understand what these features are for. Then you've got adaptive color, which is sort of like true color on iPhones if you've used iPhones. But I don't like this. It adapts the color to room temperature, but then it's kind of different colors depending on the lighting. Not a fan of that, but it's there if you want it. Then you have full PWM. So full brightness will use high frequency dimming to reduce the flickering of the screen. So it will use the maximum dimming rate that it has, which I think is 3840 Hz, which is what most phones have. So I think that's enabled by default. I haven't enabled that. So yeah, very smooth display. It's not going to affect your eyes at all. Neither is the Xiaomi, by the way. That also has high PWM dimming, but you just get the option to toggle it on or off on here if you want to. So yes, the Vivo is giving you a lot more options in the eye comfort section. Now, one thing I want to mention is that the Vivo gives you a resolution toggle. Now, this is so annoying that Xiaomi doesn't give you this. No Xiaomi phones give you a resolution toggle, which really annoys me because your eyeballs cannot see the difference between 1080p and 1.5K or 2K on a smartphone screen, especially on a 6.3-inch phone like the Xiaomi 15. I know some people are going to say, well, I can see the difference in the few extra pixels, and you know, you got the people that say, I can notice like 165 Hertz compared to 144 Hertz. You can leave that comment if you want. I don't care, you're wrong. But go ahead, leave the comment. You're only going to boost my video more, so thanks for that. But yeah, you cannot notice the difference in these resolutions, okay? I don't care if you want to pretend you can. You simply cannot. So I would appreciate the option to just set the phone to 1080p and save a bit of extra battery life. Unfortunately, you simply do not get that option on Xiaomi phones. However, on the Vivo, this is a 1440p phone. You can set it to 1440p or just 1.5K, which is about 1220p or 1260p on this phone. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, someone in the comments, but I think that even on Vivo's like other phones that are 1.5K, you can set those to 1080p. I think. I could be completely wrong though. This is the only Vivo phone I've ever used, but yeah, I do like that you get this option. On Xiaomi phones, Xiaomi don't make 1440p phones. So yeah, even the Xiaomi 17 Ultra isn't going to give you the option for 1440p or 1.5K. So yeah, I do like that resolution toggle that you get on the Vivo, so you can save battery life. We've also got this visual enhancement thing. I don't really get what this does, but yeah, I don't really like to mess with colors or the display like that, so I'll just leave that. Okay, let's look at some customization. So let's start with home lock screen, and then we'll go to home screen. So on Xiaomi phones, you hold down on the lock screen and click customize. Hold on, I need to do Face ID, so we click customize. And then on Vivo phones, you can't actually hold the display. You have to pinch the display like this and unlock, and then you can edit. So let's start with the Xiaomi. So yeah, you do have, like, you save them as presets, just like most phones give you. You get some nice animations as well when flicking through these. So you can select one, or of course click the plus and add your own image. So you get the depth effect here, which works very well. There are loads of different clocks to choose from. You've got the big one, which Apple fortunately stole from Xiaomi very shamelessly. We've got all kinds of different clocks, like loads of options for clocks, which I do really like. This one is one of my favorites. So yeah, lots of different clock options. You've got some effects like lens. You see this? Liquid glass, which Xiaomi invented, okay? Xiaomi have had this for years, and Apple have just copied it and then applied it to the entire operating system. So yeah, Xiaomi did invent liquid glass, if you didn't know. A lot of people don't know about this, but yeah, they did invent this. It does actually have the refraction and like warp around the edges and stuff. So yeah, for those that didn't know, Xiaomi did actually do liquid glass way before Apple did. Although still, I don't really want liquid glass applied to absolutely everything like what they plan to do in HyperOS 4. But anyway, yeah, dynamic wallpaper versions as well, which is cool. You can of course crop into the photo. You can change the font color. You can do solid, or you can make it like a gradient or overlap, which makes it like slightly transparent. I like blend. You can change the colors. You can use a color wheel. Yeah, extremely customizable home screens on Xiaomi. You can do like just about any kind of combination that you want. And then, okay, looking at OriginOS. So yeah, not really as nice animations. You don't get like presets like you do on the Xiaomi. You just have to sort of make it from scratch. So we'll go plus. Yeah, oh, here we go. And then you get your options on the next page. I'm not really a fan of having multiple pages like that, but yeah, we'll click on this to download it. As you can see, it's not quite as fluid on here. It's just, all pre-downloaded for you on the Xiaomi. You got to download it on the Vivo. It's a bit odd, but okay, let's look at the clocks. So you've got all of 3 clocks on the Vivo. Now, this is an area where I the Xiaomi is the clear winner here. You get so many, dozens of options. You get 3 on the Vivo, and they're not really that interesting. You get these are your options. I don't really like these that much. This one is fine. You get 2 different fonts. I think, yeah, you get 2 different fonts on the Xiaomi as well, which are like the same as this. You get serif and sans serif. Oh, sorry, this is sans serif, this is serif, I think. I failed my design technology class, so correct me if I'm wrong. Then you've got, yeah, here we go. You can do the liquid glass effect on the Vivo, so that's cool if you like that. I think it looks quite nice. I think it kind of goes well with this wallpaper, so I'll go with that. You can choose different colors for it and whatnot. So yeah, that's cool. And then you can add signature dates, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's your lot on Vivo. You don't get a lot of options at all, which is really annoying because I really want a super unique and customizable home screen, or lock screen even. So the fact that you can't really choose much of what it looks like on the Vivo, it is a bit annoying. You get drastically more options on the Xiaomi. But with that being said, I suppose it is tastefully done on the Vivo. It looks fine. Oh well, you can make the clock really long if you want to. If you want a long clock. So yeah, I'll just do it like this, so it goes behind the mountain a bit. That's cool. You do have some widgets as well. Very iPhone looking widgets, but they look nice. I don't mind this. So yeah, that's it for your lock screen customization, and yeah, you got the depth effect as well, of course. Okay, so now let's look at the home screen customization. So on both, you can either hold down Yeah, you can hold down on both, or you can just pinch. See, on the Vivo, you can pinch on the home screen or hold down on the home screen, but on the lock screen, you have to pinch, you can't hold down. On the Xiaomi, you can pinch or hold down on both the lock screen and home screen. Again, more consistency and more polish on the Xiaomi. But yeah, looking at home screen customization, I definitely prefer the UI here of the Xiaomi. It's a lot cleaner and more polished. But you do get a lot more options on the Vivo. This is the area where the Vivo shines, is its home screen. So let's take a look at the Xiaomi first. So you've got your wallpaper, obviously. So effects, you can blur the wallpaper. That's all. Widgets. A lot of people complain that you have all these garbage widgets at the top and you have to scroll all the way to the bottom to find, the widgets you want. You simply click more widgets and you select the app for the widgets that you want. It's just a non-issue. People love to complain on the internet. It really does piss me off. A lot of people complain about non-issues, particularly on Xiaomi phones as well. Like especially about ads and stuff, even though the ads are completely optional. It prompts you whether you want them or not when you set up the phone. But yeah, here's another example of that. A complete non-issue that people just love to complain about for some reason. And then you've got some settings here. So you have different transition effects. You got some really crazy ones. I just like to stick with crossfade. And then you've got home screen, whether you want a little search bar at the bottom like iPhone. I don't like to use that, but it's there if you want it. You got the don't show text feature, which is a must-have on phone. I hate having text all over the home screen. And then you have fill cells, and you can lock the layout. And if you click more, it just takes you to this. You can get rid of the Google homepage, animation speed, system navigation, and the recents. So you got vertically, horizontally, or stacked. I like stacked. It's fine. So yeah, basic stuff, but quite tasteful. And then if you take a look at the Vivo, this is where the Vivo shines. You got a lot more options on the Vivo. So I don't like this UI as much. It's definitely way more cluttered. And if we click on here, now we've gone from iOS 26 looking UI to new morphism design. So that's one thing I hate about OriginOS, is it's so inconsistent. The UI is all over the place. It feels like I'm interacting with a website that's been vibe coded rather than, thoughtfully made software. Just kind of all over the place, which is really annoying. But with that being said, you do get a lot of options here. So this is called the mood cube. Interesting, but you've got your icon style, show icon name, disabled obviously. You're a psychopath if you have that enabled. You do get some different icon packs, which is cool. You can get some more from a store, but you have to pay for them. All the themed stuff like that is free on Xiaomi, which I forgot to show you. But yeah, you get some pre-installed ones. They're pretty good. And if you go to mood cube, so yeah, here we go. This is where I really like Vivo. So you've got square icons, you can see there, or you can go to full-on circle icons, which look quite nice. Although to match the corners of the rest of the UI, I like to stick with this one. You can make them smaller or bigger. I like my icons nice and big. Now, these options here are really cool. So mono, you can make it so your home screen is black and white. You can make it blurred. You've got sky. So basically it connects to the weather app and it shows you the current weather on your home screen. This is the coolest feature ever. And it works particularly well if your wallpaper is something like this, where it's, a mountain and a sky. If your wallpaper has a sky in it, then this feature is going to work perfectly. So yeah, look at that. Literally showing you the current weather on your home screen. So it gives you an accurate representation of what the weather is like. If it's raining, it's going to be raining on your home screen. If it's snowing, whatever. So really cool. I love that feature. Then you also have time. So this is similar to the weather one, but it shows you the time of day. So it'll make it darker or lighter depending on daytime, which is cool. But I think the weather one is way more useful. And I'm assuming the weather one should show you the time of day as well. It should get darker, I imagine. So yeah, the weather one, that is just absolute peakness. So I'm definitely going to keep that on. Works really well with this kind of wallpaper. And then you have this area. So like your entire UI around this. Now I like to stick with this one. You can make it look like it was made in the 2010s if you want. Now if you go all the way to this end, I hate this one because, as you can see, it affects the rounding of like recent. So when I swipe up, now this is like way too round. It doesn't match the corners of the phone or like the corners of the bar here. So to keep everything consistent, I like to just leave this on the default. And then you've got these colors here. So this is like your control center colors and stuff. And again, I just like to leave it on the default for readability because the colors differentiate the icons. So I like to leave it on that. But yeah, you get lots of different icons. Lots of different color options. And you can do color picking so that it picks from your wallpaper. So yeah, I don't like this lack of polish here, but you do get a lot more options on the Vivo, especially this weather one, which is just insane. That is like the coolest feature I've ever seen on a phone. So yeah, more polish on the Xiaomi, but just way more features on the Vivo. Okay, so now I want to go through the gallery apps of these phones because they are really good. Both are really good. So let's go on the same photo and just click edit. And I'll show you the different editing features you get. So take a look at the Xiaomi HyperOS. You've got your usual crop. Now I do prefer the UI on the Xiaomi, again, as I have throughout the whole video. So it's a lot more polished and consistent. So you've got your different aspect ratios. So yeah, here you go. Oh, they've changed the layout of this recently, but yeah, they're here now. So 3x4, 16:9, all that kind of thing. Rotate, horizontal, all the kind of cropping options you need. Then you've got your AI stuff. You've got Erase, Ultra HD, Cutout, Expand, Bokeh, Sky. The Sky effects, the Vivo has this too, but it only works on some images. It doesn't come up on all of them. On Xiaomi, it changed the lighting of the whole image. Oh, okay, it doesn't work on this image. But on the Vivo, it doesn't even give you the option sometimes. So sometimes a picture will have a sky and it won't even show you the option, which is really frustrating. But yeah, when you have a picture with a sky on the Xiaomi, it looks amazing. It's really realistic. Definitely a lot more convincing than that of the Vivo. Then you've got, of course, the adjust section with your exposure and brightness, contrast, all that kind of thing. And you do get curve and HSL on the Xiaomi. So you've got your advanced stuff, which is nice. Although, obviously, if you really want to do all that stuff, you might as well just use Adobe Lightroom. Then you've got some filters, you've got watermarks and frames, you've got markups you can draw on it and stuff. And you have Beautify, so, you know, you can fraud max if you want to. So you've got all this stuff. So yeah, really nice. I do like the customizability you get. And another thing is, yeah, you get vignette and grain. I do like to add some grain and vignette to my photos. I like that filmic style. So yeah, but the editing, the default gallery editing software is really good on the Xiaomi. Now, take a look at the Vivo. It's just better, honestly. The Xiaomi is very good, but I think the Vivo is better. So again, you've got your AI stuff, erasing and upscaling, all that kind of stuff. Got all your cropping. Xiaomi recently changed their UI on the cropping. I do prefer it on the Vivo now, actually, because you actually have large boxes showing the different aspect ratios, whereas it's just text on the Xiaomi. So yeah, it's a bit better on the Vivo there. You got your different styles, although you can just take the picture in this style anyway. Like applying it afterwards is going to be weird because it's applying the style on top of another style. So yeah, it's a little bit of a weird way to do that, but yeah, you get lots of stuff here. Again, street photography, adding it after the fact is just going to make the photo like a little bit weird. You should just shoot in like with that filter in the first place to get the best result. And then yeah, you got to do your adjustments. But what is actually better on the Xiaomi is on here, and even apps like Adobe Lightroom don't give you these features, by the way. You've got Aura Light, which is basically, it's sort of that like glow effect that film cameras often produce on photos. Sort of makes the highlights glow, which is really nice. It's better on pictures that have lights in them. You can see it more. And then you do have Halo, which is actually halation. So you get film halation. You're not going to be able to see it in this picture because there isn't really any lights. maybe on my shoulder here. You can see it slightly. Yeah, this picture isn't a good example for these settings, but really, really cool. And then you've got grain, and you have low, medium, or high. It's not a slider like Xiaomi, but I guess it's like more accurate grain, I'd say. It's pretty realistic looking. So yeah, you do get more features on the Vivo, and these are even features that Adobe Lightroom doesn't give you. So yeah, really cool. And you've got the rest of your adjustments here. Then you've got beauty. Again, better here. So you've got, yeah, it won't let me do it because my face isn't in this photo. You've got more like skin options, more specific options like acne removal, that kind of thing. And then you've got trim. What trim does, yeah, clearly doesn't work on bodies. It's only for faces, but it's basically like the morph tool in Adobe Photoshop. So you can like pull at your face to, like, if you're a woman, you might want to push your jaw in to make your jaw slimmer, or, you know, with men, you can use this tool to make your jaw appear wider, or compress your forehead down, that kind of stuff. So you can like morph your face. So that's really cool. Again, if you want to just absolutely fraud max, then you've got that. Yeah, this is like the markup feature on Xiaomi. You can draw and stuff. And then you do have text as well, which the Xiaomi doesn't give you for photos, so you can do text. Yeah, watermarks and frames. You got stickers, mosaic. Mosaic is good. So if you want to, I used this recently for, you know, photos for, like listing a motorcycle. Gonna blur the license plate. So yeah, you've got this, so you can like blur out faces, license plates, any kind of sensitive information. So that is a really useful feature, which the Xiaomi gives you too. I think they've moved it though, I couldn't find it just now. You've got cutout, you cut stuff out, and you've got effects, or more borders, and then advanced retouch, which takes you into an even more advanced editing app, which is more like Lightroom with your curves and HSL and stuff. So yeah, there's no contest. The Vivo's editing in the Gallery app is just incredible. You get so many features. Now, both phones do have an advanced video editing tool in the Gallery app as well. Both of them are very good. You know, you can cut and trim and add text, but I'm not going to go through all of that because this video is getting very long. But yeah, for the video editing, it's a little bit smoother and better on the Vivo. I'll just say that. But yeah, I won't go through all of that now because this is going to be a very long video and I am running out of time. So some things that I want to mention is that on the Xiaomi, you can of course just double tap to open your camera, whether it's off or turned on, which is an absolute must have for any phone. However, on the Vivo, you can't do this. Double tapping the power button does absolutely nothing. Oh yeah, it brings this. It's like a Vivo Pay thing, but you can't change this shortcut. So unfortunately, the only way to launch the camera quickly on the Vivo is the display has to be off and you have to double tap the volume down button. And you can choose which like mode that it opens in, which is nice. You can choose what you want it to open in. But yeah, it's really annoying because like if you like pick it up and turn the screen on by habit, then you can't, it doesn't work. The screen has to be off. And it ends up just like being awkward and taking longer than you want it to. So I hate that about the Vivo. It could only be the Chinese version, which is the one I obviously have. You should not get the global version of any phone. That's a really stupid thing to do. But yeah, I don't think the global version has Vivo Pay, but whether that means it lets you use the power button for the camera, I don't know. But on the Chinese version, which is the only version you should buy anyway, yeah, this is the only way to launch the camera app. I mean, I've got used to it now, but still. What if I'm on the home screen and I want to open my camera? I don't want this Vivo Pay stuff. I'm not in China, you know, I don't want this. So yeah, point to Xiaomi there. I do like that you can just use the power button because all phones do that. That's just sort of a universal thing. It's a bit weird that Vivo have not done that also. Oh, and by the way, one thing I just want to mention, if you do buy the Vivo X300 Ultra Chinese version, don't know if it's the global version too, but the Chinese version is giving you loads of these AI services. You've got Blue LM Copilot. So when you hold down the power button, usually it will bring up an AI assistant that looks a lot like Siri, but it will only respond to you in Chinese unless you say, please answer this question in English. And it's also extremely slow to respond. and it's not very good. So, and another thing is all of these services that it had so many background services. I was getting like 3-hour battery life on this phone when I first got it. It was as bad as my iPhone Air for battery life. And so what I did, I just disabled all of the background AI services, because there was a lot of stuff like, you know, like, I think some of it was like app prediction, like predict your app usage and like optimize battery life. Like all of these services, all it was doing is just killing the battery life. I disabled absolutely every AI service on this phone. I didn't need to plug it into a PC to do, by the way. I just did it all in the settings app. And now this is the best battery life phone that I have. It's incredible. So yeah, if you are planning to buy this phone, just keep that in mind. The AI assistant is crap anyway. Just disable it. Disable all the AI stuff. And then yeah, you'll be getting amazing battery life, because if you don't do that, your battery life is going to suck. And it's like extremely disappointing. So yeah, be sure to do that if you buy this phone. Although keep in mind, you can't remap Google Gemini to the power button. You now just get no AI assistant. Which is a shame, because, you know, I'm very used to just holding my power button and asking Gemini to, you know, tell me something. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, but, you know, I just go into ChatGPT or whatever. But yeah, as always with the Chinese phone, there's a few quirks here and there. Obviously not deal breakers, but, you know, there's a few quirks, so I thought I'd make you aware of these things. So anyway, overall, which one is better? Well, neither is objectively better. Xiaomi has far more polish and consistency. But then the Vivo, you know, kind of feels like a vibe-coded website in terms of UI, consistency, and design, but you get way more features. And the animations are a bit smoother. So overall, I'd say HyperOS is still my favorite, because I just love the consistency and reliability, and the UI design. Just feels a lot more polished to use. So yeah, I do prefer HyperOS. But saying that, you know, the Vivo, objectively speaking, is like more useful. It's giving you more features. You have more options on OriginOS on the Vivo. So objectively speaking, OriginOS is better. But, you know, I really do appreciate the consistency and the, you know, the UI design all being coherent on the Xiaomi. So yeah, it's up to you. But, you know, when you're looking at flagships, Vivo phones tend to be a lot better than Xiaomi phones for the price anyway. So you're better off just going with Vivo, to be completely honest. Software is giving you more, you're getting better hardware. So yeah, it's up to you. There's really no better or worse technically, but, you know, like I said, objectively speaking, the Vivo is giving you a lot more features and options. So if you want to look at it that way, then yeah, OriginOS is the better Android skin. You are getting a lot more packaged in there. So I hope you found this video helpful. I haven't seen a lot of videos like this online. It's quite hard to find super in-depth comparisons on software like this for phones, but yeah, I do hope that you found this helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.